Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan faces no trust test today, which means the opposition continues to mount pressure on Imran Khan to submit his resignation. Pakistan's Army Chief, General Qamar Bajwa, remember, is in contact with Imran Khan, whom he met on Wednesday at his residence. That happened yesterday. The Pakistan Prime Minister, meanwhile, is indulging in a strategy. How best to possibly beat the no-trust vote will most likely, which is not in his favour. PTI members of National Assembly have been ordered to skip the voting session, abstain, which means in order to mitigate the chances of PTI dissenters within his own party who could secretly cast vote in favour of the opposition. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid has claimed that Prime Minister Imran Khan will fight till his last breath and will eventually win the battle, according to him.
नेशनल सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल की एमरजेंसी मीटिंग कॉल हो गई है, इसलिए उसके लिए मैं लाहौर का दौरा मंसूख कर रहा हूं और इंशाअल्लाह मीर जाफरों और इन गद्दारों, इस जमहूरियत के गद्दारों और ब्लैकमेलरों के खिलाफ इमरान खान कल तो खिताब नहीं किया, लेकिन उम्मीद है कि आज खिताब करेंगे।
सर क्या नजर आ रहा है? सर
नजर तो अभी 2 दिन बड़े हैं, मैं कल का और परसों का इंशाअल्लाह ताला इमरान खान लड़ेगा आखिरी बॉल और आखिरी ओवर तक।
इज़्ज़त के साथ, एहतराम के साथ, इस इंस्टीट्यूशन, इस मुल्क, इस जमहूरियत का एहतराम के साथ आए। यहाँ ही नेशनल असम्बली हॉल है, आप अपना प्रोड्यूस करें नंबर्स, हम अपने लेकर आते हैं नंबर्स। अवाम को मज़ीद मुश्किलात ना दें, कौम में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल क्राइसिस पैदा की कोशिश ना करें, और ये इसमें आपका इज्जत होगा।
वज़ीर आज़म ने सेफ रास्ता मांग लिया है, आसान रास्ता मांग लिया अपोजिशन से। इन चोरों से मांगेगा वज़ीर आज़म रास्ता? वज़ीर आज़म ने इस्तीफा देने की पेशकश कर दी है, वज़ीर आज़म इस्तीफा नहीं देगा। वज़ीर आज़म बड़ी शान से इस लड़ाई के अंदर जाएगा, क्योंकि लड़ाई हमारी इन बोनों के साथ थोड़ी, इनकी क्या औकात है? इन बोनों, सियासी बोनों के साथ हमारी लड़ाई थोड़ी है। वज़ीर आज़म की लड़ाई तो साम्राज्य के साथ है, जो पाकिस्तान के ऊपर अपनी हाकमियत चाहता है, जो पाकिस्तान के अंदर हुकूमतें बनाते और गिराते रहा है। वज़ीर आज़म की लड़ाई उस साम्राज्य के खिलाफ है जिन्होंने, भुट्टो ने जब नारा लगाया था आजाद खारजा पॉलिसी की, तो फिर उसको भी फांसी दिलवा के हटा था वो साम्राज्य। वज़ीर आज़म की लड़ाई जो है वो इन सियासी बोनों के साथ नहीं है।
I'm now joined on 6 p.m. Prime by Qamar Naeem. He's live, joining us from Islamabad. Qamar, at this point, it is clearly Bilawal Bhutto Zardari extremely confident, saying, and literally appears to be threatening Imran Khan, saying, don't waste our time, don't create a constitutional crisis in the country. What is happening? What suddenly changed? Numbers उनके साथ नहीं है। क्या कोई उम्मीद है इमरान खान को कि वो अपने साथ जो हैं नेशनल असेंबली के मेंबर्स को ला पाएंगे?
जहाँ तक रही बात उम्मीद की, तो अभी सिर्फ एक ही उम्मीद है, वो है मुआवजे की, क्योंकि इमरान खान साहब के साथ नंबर तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं रहे। क्योंकि आप देखिए ना कि MQM के जो फ़रूक नसीम साहब हैं, जिन्होंने इमरान खान को लीगल असिस्टेंस भी फराहम की बहुत सारी चीज़ों पर, उन्होंने कहा कि इमरान खान जो है अपने ही लोगों के बगावत की वजह से, या आप यूँ कह लीजिए अपने ही लोगों के धोखे की वजह से आज इस जवाल तक पहुँची है PTI। सो MQM की तरफ से भी हार्ड लाइन ले ली गई है, वाज़े मौका इख्तियार कर लिया गया है कि वो वज़ीर आज़म को साथ नहीं देंगे। फिर काफ लीग ने पहले ही उनके तारिक बशीर चीमा साहब की तरफ से ये मामला आ गया था। फिर जैसे इमरान खान साहब PTI की तरफ से ये कहा गया था कि परवेज़ इलाही को जो वज़ारत आला की पेशकश हुई है, पहले तो वो एक बिल्कुल क्लियर थी, अब उन्हें बीच में ये स्टेटमेंट्स आने लगी कि ये पेशकश मशरूत कर दी गई, अदम एतमाद के बाद इसको देखेंगे। फिर ये जिस तरह की चीज़ें डेवलपमेंट्स आती गई हैं सामने, तो बिल्कुल धीरे धीरे ये हाउस ऑफ कार्ड्स बन गया। इमरान खान साहब की जो PTI थी, एक डोमिनो इफेक्ट की तरह गिरते चली गई सारी चीज़ें। सो इमरान खान साहब जिन्होंने सबको आउट करना था, बज़ाहिर ऐसा लग रहा है कि उनकी अपनी विकटें उड़ चुकी हैं। लेकिन शेख रशीद साहब, हमारे जो इंटीरियर मिनिस्टर हैं, वो कह रहे हैं कि अभी सब्र करें, 2 दिन बहुत अहम हैं, कल के और परसों के। वो ये कह रहे हैं कि आप जुम्मे की और हफ्ते की रात तक वेट करें। सो जुम्मे और हफ्ते की रात तक वेट करने का जो वो कह रहे हैं, अगर उनके पास कोई ऐसा ट्रम्प कार्ड मौजूद है जिसकी वजह से वो कह रहे हैं, या मे बी वो ब्लफ मार रहे हैं, ये दोनों चीजें ज्यादा से ज्यादा इतवार तक ये चीजें बिल्कुल क्लियर होकर सामने आ जाएंगी, क्योंकि आईनी हिसाब से जो करारदाद पेश होने के बाद जो 3 दिन का टाइम था वो भी संडे तक पूरा हो रहा है।
Cover 9, thank you so much, and very well said. He clearly needs a miracle, and importantly at this point it appears Imran Khan is going to be run out or retire hurt because numbers are stacked against him. Let's take a look at exactly the numbers. Here's what the Pakistan National Assembly looks like right now. Take a look at this. 342 is the member assembly. The majority mark is 172. He had that just about a few days ago at 177, but now the seats with Imran's coalition has come down to 164 after MQM and JWP Shehzan Bukti jumped ship, which means united opposition has now become the majority mark, 177. All of this appears for now against Imran Khan, but on the voting day, could there be a crisscross? Could there be a defection of sort? That is what Imran Khan will fear if his own dissenters, and more than 20 possibly, could actually secretly vote for the opposition. So take a look of this is how exactly at this point the Pakistan Assembly looks like. But let me also show you importantly what exactly means now for Imran Khan. At this point, the numbers against him, the DGISI, the army chief meeting, could this actually work for Imran Khan? So what will happen on April 3rd or April 4th? That is when the trust vote is scheduled to take place. It is going to be a majority of 172 the members of National Assembly, and they need to have the backing with regard to the confidence motion. But the scenario appears majority of them will vote against Imran Khan, against the motion, which means his government will have to go. What is scenario number 2? The opposition fails to get the 172 majority mark, and that means there could be either because of the absentee members of the National Assembly, they could abstain. That is going to be the most crucial one, appears more likely. There is, of course, a different scenario of what will happen if at all he manages to get time at his end. Take a look of how Parliament can continue till the end of the 5-year tenure only if, remember, only if he can managed to have numbers on his side. It could have been Imran Khan creating history, managing his 5-year tenure to be completed. That hasn't happened in the past in a democratic history of Pakistan. General polls will be then held in August 2023 if Imran Khan loses, which appears very likely. There could be early elections, as many experts from Pakistan are telling us. Now, the National Assembly can elect a new Prime Minister to serve. Is that going to be Shahbaz Sharif? Appears to be the main contender, Nawaz Sharif's brother. If he is going to become the one, what does it mean as an impact for India? And this new Prime Minister can then immediately call the general elections. Remember, these are all scenarios, but these are most likely scenarios considering already one by one his biggest ally, MQM, and the JWP have shifted base and joined the opposition. Remember, that announcement came at 3:20 a.m. by Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Late night developments and permutations happening by the opposition in Imran Khan government. So as we trace very interesting developments, remember this is India's neighboring nation, and whatever happens in Pakistan could actually have an impact for India as well. But this was a cricketer turned neta, the man who led Pakistan to its maiden World Cup victory. Imran Khan was to lead the country to its Naya avatar, which means precisely the Naya Pakistan. At least that is what Pakistan's voters were hoping in 2018. But in the last 3.5 years, we saw how everything changed. Imran Khan became the Prime Minister, but much has changed. Of the many hats that he donned in his life so far, Imran Khan, the Prime Minister, has been the highest point. Take a look at the special profile and how the ups and downs have been for Imran Khan. Take a look.
On the day Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his troops to march into Ukraine, he had a visitor. The Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan came calling. For the first time in 23 years, a Prime Minister from Pakistan had paid a visit to the Kremlin.
What a time has come, so much excitement.
The scheduled meeting was for 1 hour, but it stretched to 3. It was the beginning of Putin's Russia being cornered by the Western powers. And Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit turned out to be a show of solidarity. It served both parties, because back home in Pakistan, Imran Khan too was being cornered politically by a united opposition.
ये नए पाकिस्तान की शुरुआत है, जिस हमारे नए पाकिस्तान में बड़े बड़े डाकू अब से असेंबलियों में नहीं जाएंगे, वजीर नहीं बनेंगे, वजीर आजम नहीं बनेगा, सदर नहीं बनेगा, बड़े बड़े डाकू अब जेलों में जाएंगे।
The man who came to power promising a Naya Pakistan or a new Pakistan, halfway into his term as the 22nd Prime Minister, is facing removal. Pakistan's economy is in deep crisis. The pandemic has not helped. And the prosecution of opposition leaders added to Imran Khan's dwindling popularity.
पुलिस के थ्रू उन्होंने पार्लिमानी लॉजेस पे हमला करके शो ऑफ फोर्स किया, और जो धमकी खान साहब 27 फरवरी का दे रहे हैं कि अगर कोई मेंबर ने अपना वोट का हक इस्तेमाल करना है तो उनके कारकुन के बीच से जाना पड़ेगा, वो भी एक थ्रेट है यूज ऑफ फोर्स का।
The Prime Minister of Pakistan responded with his own jibes.
गवर्नमेंट बचाने के लिए ये जो थ्री स्टूजेस वाली ऑपोजिशन है, जिसमें चेरी ब्लॉसम भी एक है, पहले दिन से ब्लैकमेल करने की कोशिश है। जब मौका मिलता है हुकूमत को गिराने की सिर्फ एक वजह से कोशिश करते हैं कि जनाब हम कोई खास अल्लाह के मखलूक हैं, हम चोरी करें, डाका मारें, इनको कोई खास ऐसी मखलूक है कि इनको सब कुछ माफ हो जाना चाहिए।
Cornered at home, Imran Khan showed a brave face to the world. At the recent Organization of Islamic Cooperation meet held in Islamabad, Imran Khan urged leaders of the Islamic nations to mediate in the war in Ukraine.
May I suggest that the OIC, during its discussions, the foreign ministers, we should think about how we, represent 1.5 billion people, how we can mediate, how we can bring about a ceasefire, how we can try and put an end to the conflict. I'm going to meet His Excellency Wang Yi after this, and I want to discuss how maybe OIC along with China, how we can all step in and try to stop this conflict, which is going to have, if it keeps going the way it is, it will have great consequences for the rest of the world.
But however much Imran Khan puts up a brave face looking outwards, inwards at home, the rallies against him only keep growing. Because just like in a jungle, in politics too, the opponents have smelt blood. And the opposition parties of Pakistan are not going to let up till Imran Khan's fate gets decided on the floor of the House.
Remember, this is a developing story, but big news is expected in the next few hours from Pakistan, and we'll be tracking all the latest here on India Today.